Hello and a very warm welcome to episode 54 of the Sussex by the Sea podcast, a podcast about all things Hastings United. I'm your host Chris Laverick, and on today's show we have CEO Billy Wood talking getting that Finn O'Mara signing over the line, the latest on Tilekiln, and the excellent progression of the women's squad. Also on the show we've got the SBTS fan roundtable with the roundup of the week. Enjoy, Hastings fans. And now over to our CEO, Billy Wood. Right, anyway, I had the wonderful, the magnificent Billy Wood. Billy Wood, who has his own song these days.
I do, yeah.
I was going to ask at the end, but let me talk about that song to begin with. Are you happy with it?
No, to be honest, it's quite surreal. I do like it. I do. I think it's a great song. Whoever come up with the lyrics, massive kudos to them. I've got an idea who it was, but I think it's fantastic. It's actually quite catchy. I actually, as arrogant as this sounds, Chris, I've actually had it in my head a few times and kind of like hummed it away to myself. But a bit weird. But thank you. Like to the supporters singing it, thank you, and hopefully I can keep doing what I'm doing at the club to make you sing that throughout the next 5, 10, 15 years. Yeah,
hopefully. Yeah, that's all good. That's all good. Right. So first of all, let's go to we're recording this. It's Friday today, isn't it? So it's on Friday. It's just before this big announcement. This is obviously coming out on the Thursday afterwards. So please, I'm hoping that the big announcement is a certain gentleman putting pen to paper. Would I be correct?
Yeah, Gary Histed has just signed a 3-year deal.
Yes.
With the club.
Histed and his harem.
Gary will forever be at the club, helping out throughout the week for the next 3 years. And I'm delighted with that deal. Now, on a serious note, it's been the most interesting deal I've had to do at the club. That includes the ones going out. But yeah, we've concluded the transfer. The fee has been agreed, and we have concluded the registration and move over from Folkestone to Hastings United of our new number 4, Finn O'Mara. So yeah, he's
Billy gets it done. Billy gets it done.
Yeah. It was a hard one.
Well, I remember talking to Gary a few weeks back, and he was saying, and there's a few messages as well, but he was saying that they had a valuation.
Yeah.
And obviously his contract's coming towards an end.
Yeah.
And we had a valuation, and that they were playing hardball for someone that they didn't really want.
Yeah, agree.
I mean, and so you've managed to bump a few heads and...
Yeah, I think the fact of the matter is the players come in done fantastically well. So
blimey,
if I was Folkestone, let's just say, I probably would, even if my manager wasn't having him and not really playing him, the fact that he's doing so well at the football club is naturally going to put if the club badly want him, he's going to put a price on his head that we're going to have to pay. And with all due respect, I don't mind that if Finn's doing well, and Finn has been fantastic, not just on the pitch, but he's been brilliant off the pitch as well. And he really has brought into what the club's about and what we're trying to achieve. And I think, was I happy with the negotiations? Not fully, I have to be honest. And I normally get what I want all the time when it comes to these sort of things, in the sense that I'll make sure that if we want something, I'm a big believer. If you want something in life, you can go out and get it. So when it comes to players in and out, we've always seemed to got what we want, and we were always going to get Finn. And I said it to a few supporters that don't worry, we'll get this done. But it was lastminute.com. A little bit of insight. At 7 p.m. last night, the lads meant to start training, and the deal was rejected. And I went into the change room. Well, I went and spoke to Gary, and then Gary went into the change room, and the lads went off to train, and Finn didn't. Finn didn't train, and he didn't train because the deal was off, and Finn was going back to Folkestone.
Oh, blimey! And
it was very touch and go, but within probably an hour, a couple of hours, it was not just me; it was a combined effort. We had a bit of a good bad cop situation, me and Dean White, as everyone knows, football, and we got the deal over the line.
Brilliant stuff.
To bring Finn in, and Finn has signed a lengthy contract with us, so he's not here just to the end of the year. He's here for a couple of seasons at least.
Excellent.
And we're very excited to have him here. And it's quite funny, actually, because all the players went off to training, right? And they all come back because they trained off-site yesterday. They all came back, and Gary went into the change room and took Finn in there, all somber. I was like, lads, Folkestone aren't playing ball. Finn's going back. Like, we want to wish Finn all the best and thank him for what he's done. So they're all giving him applause and applauding him off. Yeah. And like Gary tells everyone, it's like, no, he's here for 3 more years. And the whole room went up. It was great. So
excellent.
No, we're delighted, and I think he's going to play a big part in this football club's journey that we want.
Yeah. But Billy, I mean, were you a little bit annoyed with him when he did that overhead kick? You think, Christ, that's put his value up a little bit there.
Well, yeah. Well, why do you think he didn't get man of the match? I think it was one of those things. I think if we tried to buy Finn initially at the start, we probably would have not paid what we've paid. It's an undisclosed fee, but we've done good business, or they've done good business. I think we've done good business because I think it's worth it. But we probably wouldn't have paid nowhere near that. He's done really, really well with us. He's probably pushed his own value up by playing so well, scoring goals as well, not just overhead kicks, but he's so threatening in the box. He's such a threat, and I think he's a sort of centre half that probably can get you 10 goals a season just because he's such a threat from corners and free kicks. So his value has gone up, but he's still young. He's under 23. He's got a journey to go on. You know, he was at a football league club. He played for Gina, and I'm sure he wants to play at the highest level we can possibly play. But he really likes it at Hastings. Like, he genuinely feels like he's been here for a long time, and part of the family as such. And it was never a case of agreed a deal and then try to convince Finn to stay at Hastings. It was, I want to be at Hastings. Let's get a deal done. So we're delighted. We're over the moon, and I'm not so bothered about the overhead kick now. I'm thinking we might put it up on social media later just to show what we've got. But no, he's a class lad, and I'm really, really pleased. He's a Hastings player for the long term.
No, I mean, it's brilliant. I got, since the guy came in through the door from on the pitch, absolutely dominant. That particularly, as you say, with the aerial threat and the enthusiasm that he brings across and the energy, just unreal. I mean, it looks like he's having fun out there as well, and I think that has really bounced off a lot of the players.
Definitely, I agree, Chris. And I think only have to look at the goal celebrations, not just of his goals, but everyone's goals. Finn's like one of the first people over there. Yeah. So he's really part of the squad. The lads love him, and it's a good signing. It's a signing that it shows that we're not messing around, and it's stability that we need. And him and Stoney are what a pair. And it's like Stoney Elphick part version 2, if you know what I mean. It really feels that way. And we're absolutely delighted, and it's great to have Finn at the club.
Yeah, incredible. I mean, did you know? Just sorry to keep going on about Finn here, but did you know as soon as he walked through that door, like we've got a player here? I mean,
no. I think. Look, Gary Elphick as a player was, I would say Gary Elphick as a player before he became manager was probably the most, and this is no knock on any other player at the football club, because I think everyone's, look, you can see how much people love the players that we've got here, or that all were here, like your Daniel Adjokais and your Lamrays and Jake Elliott's and what have you. But I think probably in the time I've been at the club, and maybe like the season before when he came in, Gary Elphick probably as a player was the most important player for us to win games of football. It was always the conversation was like, as long as we got Gary out on the pitch, we'll be okay. That was a lot of the conversations that would be had at the club. So Gary, when I spoke to Gary about becoming manager, and it was obvious that he would be a manager, not a player manager. When I think we made a decision after Cray. It was Cray we made the decision at, and it was like, look, this is what we're going to do. And it was like, right, we've got to replace Gary. And you go, oh, how are you going to find a kick it, head it, proper diehard, proper old school centre half at this point of the season that's not already contracted at a club? or doing well at a club and they don't want to leave. And so names got thrown around. Lots of names got thrown around. Some really cultured defenders and a few others. And then Finn come in, and like I would say the first game at Three Bridges, I think it was Three Bridges was his first game. I'm sure it was where him and Stoney collided, and they went through, and Stoney made that big tackle. I thought to myself, look, it looks threatening, it looks decent, but is he going to be enough to replace Gary Elphick? But from that moment, every single game has gone past, he's got better and better and more comfortable, knows his job. I think being with Stoney, him and Stoney have gelled incredibly well. It's lovely to see. I think you only have to look at the end of games, how they celebrate together before anything else. And also being, Gary's one of the best centre backs at this level above, and then some. He's one of the best non-league centre halves. Being around Gary Elphick's only going to make Finn better anyway. And I think we've got a player who's not like Gary's in his mid-30s now. Finn's in his early 20s. We've got someone that potentially could end up playing 400 games for Hastings United. I genuinely believe that, and I'm excited that he's joined the club permanently.
Nice. It's brilliant stuff. And you mentioned obviously Craig Stone. Do you remember when he's got that wicket? You see Craig Stone grab his up. Jesus Christ! I mean, it's just, it rubs off. It's just.
Well, Stoney left training last night. Left after training last night before everyone found out it was a joke that Finn was staying. So he went home really pissed off in the car, thinking, who's playing next? Who's playing alongside me on Saturday? But it's all done, and he's got his pal Finn next to him, so it's all good.
Excellent. Great business there from you. Great business. Well done. Moving on. Let's move on to. We talk about. Well, we had the Q&A last week.
Yeah.
The Tilekiln was brought up again.
Yeah.
Could I please ask, where are we at with that? This is obviously dragging on, and no one wants it to drag on. So what's the latest with this situation?
Well, the latest is simple, and it is frustrating for me. I got a phone call. I won't say who from, but someone at the council who's been part of the process calls me up and said, well, actually, no, didn't call me up. She was at our ground on a Sunday, said to me, you've made the 8th of December meeting. I've got to present it. I'm glad that you've made the meeting, and it's going up unopposed. And I got really excited, and I kind of no, I've not cried, but knowing that you get that moment, you think, like we're actually going to be heard. So I got really kind of emotional when I found that news out. So I wanted to share it with you guys because it's your club, right? So if I can get emotional about something like that, I wanted to share that out, and I had it on good authority that we were going to get heard. Long story short, it comes to close to the meeting, and they say that our ecology report wasn't what they wanted, and they wanted some changes to it. And lastminute.com, we offered to make the changes, but they said it wasn't going to be quick enough to get it done for the planning meeting for the 8th, and we would be pushed back. Since that, we didn't make January, and I'm hoping that we make the February or March one. Now, my biggest concern, and the concern of Darren and Peter, is that we know what happens in May. It's councillor, it's elections, right? So everything goes into Purdue, and nothing gets done. Now, I'm not cynical when it comes to the council. Others will be, and I'm sure Darren and Peter have kind of had enough of the journey. Like, it's been longer than I've been here. It's been since they walked through the door. They're probably fed up, really, really fed up. But I'm fed up, Chris, and I'm fed up with. There's always a reason to push it back, and I'm hoping the council prove me wrong a little bit, and we get heard before elections. I don't think there's any reason for us not to be heard now. It was meant to be going up unopposed.
Honestly, though, Billy, like in terms of like you've obviously put this new report in, and have they ratified? They've said, okay, that's fine. We now have to hear it. Is that the case? Is that they
that should be the case?
So why are they waiting? I mean, I'm not a massive fan of the council, mate. Yeah. So why it should take this long for them to just sit down and, you know, either review something and say, well, we don't like it, or we do like it. I mean, I don't, because it's not fair to leave everyone.
I think it's frustrating because the longer it's left, the more expensive it costs to make this new ground, right? Regardless if you've got planning approval or not. And I think that's a worry for us all at the club. But also, I just don't get what I don't get is I find us as a club scrambling for facilities. So how is everyone else getting on in this town? You know, where there are no facilities. I'm sick to death with hearing about the town trying doing stuff, because it doesn't. In my time of living here, I reckon things have got worse facility wise, and that's a shame. And by the way, it's not knock on any individual in a council led position or anyone that's made these decisions, because obviously everyone wants what's best. I'm not cynical enough to think that people are trying to make this place worse, because like they've tried things, like they tried the pier, they tried the new cricket ground, which ended up being a bit of a white elephant. And I think so the town gets scared, in my opinion, of big projects. So you've got to look at the cricket ground. You've got to what happened there with being a bit of a white elephant. You have to look at other like the pier. Let's be honest, it's been a bit of a nightmare situation, that. And I think
but that's giving money. Like, let's talk about the pier now. Yeah, the pier was giving money to individuals. Yeah, and no real
accountability.
Exactly. No. And whereas this is all in front of them, that you're the guys that are putting this project forward. There's obviously, you know, but David Burnley and everyone there, you know, this is not people that are shysters. So like, I mean, I don't.
Well, I think the difference is, I think there's a lot of stipulations on the new ground, like what we've got to do, what we can't do, what we can do, you know, what toilet paper we can use at the ground. And like some of the conditions are a little bit silly, but we understand that there are concerns, that some people believe that it's just going to be a thing that makes Hastings United loads and loads of money, right? With all due respect, anyone who runs a football club knows that football clubs just don't generate loads without spending loads. And it's not going to make anyone rich, but it will enrich this town, you know, with the facilities. And my feeling on it is simple. Hastings United being successful is huge for Hastings. Now, we're on the map now, Hastings United. We are a big club. We get over 1,000 people watching on average. We broke our all-time league attendance record, which stood from a game that was mostly attended by AFC Wimbledon supporters. That shows who we are in this town now, right? That badge on your hat, Chris, is everywhere in this town now. You can't get away from it, and you can't get away from what we're trying to do. And we are, in my opinion, one of the most valuable assets to Hastings as a town, because we're creating something of excitement. We're creating something where kids want to be, not just young boys, young girls.
Young girls, yeah.
We're creating an environment where teenagers on a Saturday have something to do. They have something to be part of. You can only have to look behind the goal now on match days and see the vast amount of teenagers that have accompanied yourself, George, Joe and the gang behind there. It's grown hugely. And that's something we should be proud of as a town. And even, for example, terrible weather. Social media didn't really make it look like the game was going to be on Saturday. Let's be honest. It could have some tweets could have deterred people from coming up. We still had 901 people there. Yeah. 901 people, which for me isn't one of our best attendances, but for Hastings United, it's massive, really. When I first come to the club, we recorded highest attendances of the season at 505, and I think we went up to 700, and then 800, and then suddenly we had that 1,000 plus for Ashford. We had 1,020 or something like that, and I was blown away. But 901 now, I'm not blown away by it. I'm still very proud of the fact that we had 900 people there. But it just shows that's a base level for us now. That's hardcore. If you're coming out in the rain, That's hardcore. And I think we now can really be of value to this town, and we will openly be a value for this town by doing stuff for this town. So I'm a little bit frustrated, but I will never give up. Like even Finn, the deal was finished at 7 p.m. We got the deal done at 9. So never say never, and we'll make this ground happen because it has to happen for this club. Or as a club, we've got to think on our feet and be ready.
I was going to ask you if there was a plan B, if it's going to go on forever, and you've got to move to a plan B.
Plan B, ultimately, we operate at the pilot field. That's our ground. We have a long lease on it. It's funny because the residents don't want houses on there, but they don't want us there. Really, they might say that the non-footballing ones might say, "Oh, save the pilot field. It's this great old stadium and what have you," and it is, but they don't want the car. We're big. You've got 2,000 people there. You can't park your car anywhere around there. It's who gets the complaints from that? Us. So plan B. Well, we're at the pilot field, and Darren, Peter, and I will not stand still with this football club. Even if other people want to try and make us stand still, we're not going to stand still. So plan B is to keep on the move.
Okay. Yeah, no, I understand.
I would love to go in further detail, but I can't. But keep on the move as such.
I would say we touched upon before was in terms of just to explain to people, because if the ground goes through, let's hope it does.
Yep.
We've got a certain attendance at the moment, which I think is about just 2,000, isn't it?
Yeah, 1,975. I think was the one for the new stadium, which was set obviously before I came to the club, and at that time the club was getting 300-400 people on average, so it was more than big enough for the club's ambitions at that time.
Yeah, so to explain to people that maybe weren't at the Q&A, because you did go into it a little bit.
Yeah.
The actual what would be done to increase that, considering the fact that that's not enough.
Look, if we're carrying on down this route, we want, like, the ambitions of the club are now, let's be frank, we want to be a National League football club as a bare minimum. And then it's a real frank conversation with Darren and Peter about us three making sure that this club potentially becomes a football league club. That's the dream, right? Yeah. It's still going to take time to get there, but 1,975 people don't get you there. It just doesn't. And I think we've now shown with excitement and a little bit of community spirit that if we give the town something to want to be part of, then they're going to come and be part of it. So with regards to the capacities, it's scaled. So the ground's scaled, and the way it will be built is scaled that it can kind of have extra put onto it. So whether that's 1,975 to 3,500 to 5,000 to 10,000 to 15,000. Now, we're not stupid. There's no point just getting approval and being stuck at 2,000, because actually you can't be a National League club at that level either. Yeah. So there's stipulations, and for example, there's like, not clauses, I think it's the wrong word to use, but there's points in that say what we can and can't do to increase. And we know from our end, we want to increase, and we understand that if it gets to the point we want to get to by the time we get a new ground, 1,975 is not enough.
Yeah,
it's as simple as that.
Okay, all right. And so in terms of that's not going to be any hold up. That isn't the hold up. That hasn't got anything to do with it.
That's not the hold up. Okay. The hold up is simple. Is this ecology report, and it's and on that report, what they want done is a actual a law that's not even come in yet. It might come in 2023. So we're doing a report that's going to be valid for after 2023, when you shouldn't really have to, but we are. It's like saying a law's going to come in next year that it's like the smoking in restaurants and pubs thing. You knew that at a certain date it could be done, so people did it beforehand anyway. Oh no, you can't do that because in 6 months' time you're not allowed to do it here. It's like that a little bit, which is a bit weird.
Must ask you, what's it like coming into work every day? Since I last spoke to you, a lot has happened. Yeah?
Yes.
And we've had a lovely old turnaround. What's it, just give me what's it like walking in that door now? I mean,
Every day, it's great.
Yeah.
I love it anyway. I love it every day going there. Like it's a dream come true to kind of be the guy spearheading the Hastings United Football Club. I think, I'm sure Gary will attest to this, that when we had a little sticky patch after Chris left and we lost to Cray and then we lost to Hayward Heath, I was very much a marathon, not a sprint. So many points to win. We'll be all right. We'll get what you need. We'll give you. We'll make sure we get there. What is it like for me? It's two ways, Chris. Like it's amazing, but by God, it is stressful. I don't really show that on match days, apart from me celebrating and agonising. But it is stressful because ultimately it's a business as well. And there's times when we're stretched and there's times that we're not. And if it wasn't for some of our great sponsors and if it wasn't for the supporters turning up and coming through the gate and the big crowds outside, and I'm sorry that we've got queues now at this football club. And we've changed our procedures around the entry in to make it a bit more professional, because it was a little bit of a free for all how you got into the crowd. People got into the ground. If it isn't for gate revenue and match day revenue and sponsors, and look, for example, the women's team are doing well not because of me or some of the players like individually. We're doing well because Hastings Venture Golf, for example, are a huge sponsor and have really helped us be able to do what we want to do this year. And like Littlewoods and CB Electrical, who poor Craig, I think we bother him every day about electrics. And you know, I know he's a director, but it's still, if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing. So on the business side, I'm very, very fortunate that Darren and Peter entrust me with the vision and what we want to do and back my decisions, whether they're right or wrong. They back me 100%. And not many clubs would you have that level of trust and decision making. Really, a lot of the time you probably have people meddling in what you do. Those guys don't meddle at all. They let me crack on. They're the ones trust me, on Saturdays and Tuesday nights. They're the ones texting me as soon as a goal goes in, and if we score, they score. How we getting on? How we doing? And also they're attending more and more games than I think than they really have done throughout their tenure now, because it's a welcoming place, and I think people see Peter and Darren home and away a little bit more than usual, and I like that. I like them being there because this is our club together. When I say our, I don't just mean Darren, Peter, and myself. Yeah. I mean the supporters, the players, the staff, the volunteers. We're all together. There's no like, you know, Ivy Tower. There's no like, I'm not sitting out the way and not part of it. Like, I can have a beer and a laugh and a joke with anyone and be part of it. We're all part of the same team, and I like that. And I don't like divide. I don't like I am your chairman of your football club, but I don't like that divide of people can't have a chat with me or have a laugh with me or even take the piss out of me. I like it, you know, like when
we'd expect it back as well,
yeah,
Billy.
Of course, but I like that, and I think that's the way it should be. Like, I'm not untouchable. Like, I'm one of you, and we're all in it together, and we all on Saturday go to a game with the same buzz and excitement that we want to get 3 points, and that's the way this club is. It's passionate, but we have to, on the business side, be a little bit more not cautious. I think we're not a cautious club, but we have to be mindful, and we have to budget well, and we have to make sure, and we take gambles. We take like educated gambles in what we think we can do, and sometimes they come off, sometimes they don't. But we've always got backups for things that don't go well, and we always make sure that we're financially secure. But like any non-league club, we're not multi-millionaire football club. We are a club that sometimes has to operate month to month, and then sometimes we're a little bit more fluid, and it's just the way of the business. But for example, season ticket uptake massively helped, and I really hope next year we break the record again, and I hope that happens. Does that hit us in the pocket a little bit on individual match days? Yes. But the commitment to have people in the ground, I think, is the reason why we're getting a big crowd. So I love it, Chris. Going back to the original question, I absolutely love it. And I wouldn't change this opportunity for anything, because I want success for this town, both men and women. And that's why I'm heavily, not just heavily involved in the men's side in the sense of behind the scenes, but the women's has been everyone knows.
That's what I was going to come to about. Yeah. Obviously, your role as the manager of the women's team, doing fantastic.
Yeah,
I mean, we never really get you on here talking about that, but I want you to, if you've got time, if you just got
cool.
time, But so the women's team, it's doing fantastic.
Yeah.
What's the secret? Come on, what? All right, yes, you've got some good players there.
Yeah.
You know, Blair in goal, Rebecca, Georgia Tibble, you've got some good players out there. But how have you brought this bunch together and made them a winning outfit so quickly?
I think the trick is, like, the quality in the team is fantastic. There's no denying the quality across the squad, not just like 11 players. I'm talking 18, 19, very, very good players. Some from a higher leagues that have come down. I think the secret of the success of it has been everyone's pulling in the right direction. Everyone wants the same thing. And I think they've all brought in to the ethos of what we're trying to achieve with women's football at the club. I think they understand that I'm passionate, but I'm not going to ever ask anything from them that I wouldn't do myself. So I'm really pushing. Like, we might win a game 5-0, but that doesn't mean anything for me if we don't play well. And a lot of other places, if you win 5-0, you won 5-0. Yeah, great, crack up a bottle of champagne and move on. And I'm a little bit hard on the girls like that, because I understand that there's going to be games where the team that we play is going to be nowhere near the quality of us. And it's going to be an easy game. And we don't walk into any games thinking it's going to be easy. Like Walton Casuals at the weekend beat Dorking Wanderers, who are top of their league at the same step as us. They beat them 4-2. And I was expecting a tough game. We went there, won 5-0. And we didn't play well. I don't think anyway. I don't think we played well. And I wasn't very happy with the performance. And I won't ever... I'm not negative, so I'm not going after a 5-0 hammer the girls. But training, it's simple. It's, look, we're a passing football team. We've got technically the best players around. Why are we just going back? Why are we going for 50?
Why are we being brought down to their level?
Rubbish. And we need to do what we do best. Look after the ball, be patient with the ball, and play football the right way, and play the way we want to play, and we push on to them. And the good thing is that our players have adapted to the way we want to play very quickly. It does help when you're bringing in very, very good players. Like, for example, Claire Johnson, CJ she's been I would say she's the pace setter of the team, in the sense that she's one of the hardest working I've ever come across. She's inspirational. She's a mother to two. She's hard working off the pitch as she is on the pitch. She never ever moans. She gets on with every situation. She came in wanting to play right back. Has now played right back, right wing, as a number 10. She's that good. She can play anywhere, and she really, really is enjoying her football. And I think she's set the standards a little bit at the club. Now we've got other players of just as good quality, like Georgia Tibble. I don't think you'll find a better technically gifted player at our level than Tibbs. And Sian Heather's just, anyone who's seen Sian play, she's rapid, loads of pace, scores goals for fun as well. And you add that to players like Mia Highland coming in. And, for example, another one, unfortunately got injured at the weekend, but Vix Phillips, the centre-half, has been she's been unreal. She's come in, back end of her career, really, come back off an ACL, come in, and I expected Vix to be a bit part player. And she alongside Rebecca Ralph, as the only two that have started every single game this season. she's that important to us. So losing her is going to be massive.
How long is she out for the season? Or
we don't know yet. We don't know. It could be a while. It's thankfully it's not broke it, but it looks like serious ligament damage. So it could be a while, and we'll have to manage without her. But that's the depth of the squad. We've got Rosie Muggeridge who can just step straight in, and Lucy Fletcher can play centre half as well. So the trick has been, I think, it's just been managing personalities as well. Like they know what I'm about. They know that I want success and I'm passionate about it. And I think as long as I carry on showing them that, then hopefully they carry on running through brick walls for this football club. And so far so good. But yeah, no, I'm delighted. The staff, the players, everyone's done amazing. But also as a club, we backed that as well, and we've made sure that every player coming in feels like they're coming to a professional situation. So I'm really happy with how that's going, Chris. Really happy.
Yeah, well, it's great. It's a great time to be a Hastings fan. You'll be at Whitstable, I take it, sir?
Oh, of course, I'll be there. Yeah, without a doubt.
Well, I shall see you at that game. But before you go, any message to the Hastings fans or anything you want to just
keep what you're doing. Keep what you're doing. Look, the crowds are getting bigger, which in some senses it might take away from the atmosphere a little bit because they might not all know the songs and what we do. But on the hardcore supporters,
we'll tell them the Billy Wood song. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, cool.
We'll make sure they know that one. All right. You can tell them, Billy. You can.
Yeah, I'll sing it for them. But, with regards to the hardcore supporters, not just the ones behind the goal, but in the main stand. Who, by the way, the positivity when Cisse and Nori came off the pitch was ridiculous, wasn't it? Like that noise. I've never heard that for a sub ever at the ground since I've been there. But you guys are the ones that are gonna, once they're in the stadium, they're gonna gravitate towards either sitting up in the stand, watching the game quietly, or being behind the goal. And I think for me, from at home, we've got to continue being nice and loud and proud. But away from home, let's be in unity. Let's make that noise, that wall behind the goal, ridiculous. Let's not call people out for not singing. I'm not saying that, but in the side, but the lads love it.
It does happen occasionally. Go on.
But the lads love it. Like the away support is what gets talked about a lot. Is everyone travelling away to support Hastings United is massive, and it's stuff like that will be so vital when it's running. Like Whitstable on Saturday, it could be a banana skin. But when you've got you guys there with the drum, George banging the drum away, you're all singing. I'm sure Robbie will be on crutches this weekend after last week, but you're all singing, bellowing out of tune, willing the lads on. That for me, watching the game and hearing you guys gives me so much joy and pride and joy. That please do it more, because for me, that's when I talk about Hastings. That's what I talk about to people is the supporters, because without the support and without the love of the club, genuinely, I don't think I could do what I do. So that rubs off on me massively. So I appreciate it hugely.
Cheers. Thanks so much for that. And thanks so much for this, Billy. Well done. Fantastic business. Getting Finn in. You're doing great guns with the women's team. Men's team doing fantastic. I mean, what's not to love?
Exactly. It's Hastings.
It's Hastings, mate. Thank you.
Cheers, mate.
And now over to the SBTS Fan Roundtable. And a big shout out to Matt, Flat White Andy, Gina, Adam C, and Windy John for making it happen. Windy.
All right, mate.
You're on.
It looks like I've got a halo. Of course.
Of course. Windy has Jesus on his side. We all knew this. First of all, absolute pleasure, gents. We're going to be joined by, I think Gina's going to be here now already. Right. So Gina's here. No Gary Histed, unfortunately. But
bye.
We've got the lovely Gina. Absolute pleasure. Thank you, chaps, for joining the round table. We currently don't have a Kenny Poger here. He's not answering. He has just had a baby girl yesterday. Well, not him personally. His wife had a baby girl. So Kenny isn't currently answering me. He may come on. It's, as you can imagine, if they've only just had a baby, it could be chaos, couldn't it? It could be that they've had no sleep and everything. So the last thing he wants to do is come on this, but you never know. He may
under any circumstances.
Oh, you're
I
a
hear he's a
bugger.
Spurs fan, so he's probably had more restless nights following Tottenham than having a baby.
Very true.
Very true. Very true
Yeah.
there, Matt.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised he didn't postpone it. Actually.
Ooh.
A little bit of comedy there. Right. So first, let's do introductions. Right. We got 3 new people on tonight. So first of all, let's do from my perception is I've got Windy John up on the top left, which is not going to be the top left to everyone else probably, but please, John, it's an absolute pleasure. It's been ages trying to get you on. So could you just say what made you fall in love with Hastings, basically, for everyone listening and watching out there?
Well, basically, I've been going up Pilot Field since first game I can remember is 1968, but I think I was dragged up there.
Oiler Ule. You don't look that old, John.
A bit earlier than that, and I've been going up there ever since, really. Mostly, I mean, I was up there every weekend in the 70s. I missed some of the 80s, sadly, because that was probably, especially at the end, it was near the end of the 80s, so it's probably one of their best periods. But yeah, it's always been there, no matter what title they were called, as long as it was a Pilot Field, not Stamco. It mattered. So yeah, that's me. All
right, okay. Well, it's an absolute pleasure you're here now.
And as you may know, some of you might know, my dad took me out there, and he was up there from 1952 until he died 18 months ago. So there you go. And he probably saw more, proper seasons than I did. That's for sure. Yeah, he had the pleasure of the 50s.
Yeah. Saying that, I'm talking history tomorrow with Leon. Hastings history. So I will bring up the 50s because that's quite a lot happening. But right, so moving on.
Yeah,
we're going to move on to the next person I can see, which is Matt. Matt, it was just introduce yourself and how you fell in love, started following Hastings.
So literally, being a Spurs fan down here, we've always come and watched the sort of Tottenham teams that have been down at Pilot Field. My little boy Dylan, who some of you might sort of clock from my posts, he's a aspiring goalkeeper. So in October, we went down there just to watch a goalkeeper. We had no intention of sort of joining the Hastings clan or anything.
Yeah.
We went in there, we watched the game, we watched Louis intently, and I was expecting there to be about 150 people or something like that. It used to be years ago when I used to go on the odd occasion, and we were just blown away. 5 o'clock we left, we walked out the gates, but spiritually we never really left. We've done pretty much every home game since, done a few away games. Everyone we've met has just been so sort of supportive and so engaging and engrossing that we just feel like we've become a part of this family we never knew we had, and frankly we're loving it.
Excellent, great stuff. Yeah, it is definitely a family. Sort of the family. We've also got the lovely Gina. Gina's here. She isn't with Gary, but she's enough. We don't need Gary. Gina, tell us, my love, how you first started going to watching Hastings.
My first game was a Middlesbrough game.
Oh, okay.
And then I've been going to odd games with Gary, but this season I've been going to every game, home and away.
This is true.
I also help out on the turnstiles as well. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, just for anyone that doesn't know, Gina, Gary, all help out, volunteer. They do tons of stuff around for nothing. For the joy of watching Hastings. So hats off to you, my love. Should we just kick straight into Whitstable? Now, I think it was just me and Gina, the only ones that went to Whitstable. Am I right?
Yeah, I wasn't there. I was listening to Radio Carder.
Yeah, well, I was hoping Radio Carder was going to turn up, but Radio Carder's gone gaga. I was going to plug all of his stuff. I'll just have to do it without him. So, and we can slag him off now, can't we? Let's be honest. No, we won't do that. So it's just me and Gina that went. I was hoping for a little bit of input from Adam as well. So Gina, any of your thoughts about the game and how it went?
I think the pitch was a bit bubbly, a bit bumpy. But they had some good chances in the first half, especially from Cisse.
Yeah, he had a good game, didn't he? Cisse's really come on that last sort of 3 games. He's just been a nightmare for other teams, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think he's improved a lot since his first game.
Yeah, I mean, wasn't it? I can't remember, my love. I thought, was it like the first minute or like the 5th minute that he was clean through? It was
the 3rd minute.
Was it our 3rd minute? Yeah. And I was thinking, oh, what a perfect start! But it was like a quagmire, that pitch. Yeah. So, obviously, for those that were listening to Adam's wonderful commentary, I don't know if he got across the fact that it was a bit Somme-like. It was a very turgid pitch, very heavy. A few things to take from it. Firstly, that the Whitstable fans were excellent. They sung their hearts out for their team, even though the team played better than they did when they were at the pilot fields. Because, I mean, I know I've said to yourself, Andy, Whitstable were the worst team I've seen this season.
They were our sort of leg up after Agatha went, weren't they? That game that was our sort of free hit after Agatha had gone, which was very, very useful at the time.
Yeah, they were shocking. And to be honest, I don't know if you agree with me, Gina, but I thought that Whitstable really gave it a go, didn't they?
Yeah, they were. I actually thought at one point they were the better side, but then controversial there. Like in the first part of the second half, they came out to fight back. Oh
yeah, they did, and it took the fact that I remember Robbie saying to me, just so you know, like Robbie, who hasn't turned up either. He was supposed to be here. He's obviously injured. That's what he's going to play.
Is he mobile now then?
He's on crutches.
Ah, okay.
And he, it was quite funny. I got there about 20 past 2, sorry. And Robbie said to me, Chris, don't buy me any beers. Yeah, I'm off the beer. And he was drinking a 7-Up. And I said, I'll give that 5 minutes, Robbie. And then he goes, like 5 minutes later, oh, Chris, give me a beer. It was that was his pain medication. But we were trying to find different things for him to sit on because so he would sit with us because he was going to sit in a main stand.
No finer place.
Exactly. But we would have lost him forever, Andy. We would have lost him forever.
I've welcomed him with open arms. God, you could have half my prawn sandwich.
But so he was just behind us and very quiet. He was very, very reserved. Robbie, he didn't even sing, Gina.
No, but he did comment about the ball patch of the referee.
This is true because he had a superior angle. Thank you. Well remembered, Gina. Because he was higher up in the stand, he was able to see down onto the ball patch of the ref, which he did pick it out. He says, ref, you're trying to hide that ball patch, but from this angle, I see everything, and which was quite entertaining.
Was he sitting next to Adam in this second half?
I think from the commentary, I think he might have been. Adam definitely had someone join him in the second half. So
his name was it was Rob, but I didn't know if it's Rob or Rob French or someone else. But whoever it was helping Adam out a little bit with the commentary, and it was really good, really good. Adam did brilliant, but I thought with whoever Robbie was.
No, it would have been Robbie. This was first half. This is what me and Gina talked about first half. Second half. Maybe I was too lost in the game by then.
But the atmosphere sounded great on the radio. Atmosphere sounded really good on the radio.
Didn't it?
It really did. Yeah.
Yeah, Whitstable fans were brilliant. I mean, I don't know if you agree with Gina, but they were singing, even though their team was quite not that good. And even when we scored, they carried on. And when we were walking back after the game, they were very good about us. About the team, they were glad that that we're doing well. It was really.
They even shook your hands as well at the end.
Yeah, and which was interesting because the last time we went there, I do believe
chased around
some fans were assaulted, and I think didn't the goalie was that what Lee wasn't that when Lee got punched by the goalie? Am I thinking of a different game, Gina?
No, I think that's happened a few times with Whitstable with a bit of trouble. What I was saying is about 3 or 4 years ago, I remember I didn't go to the game, but I can remember some of the lads saying that they'd been and they got sort of run back to the station by some locals who were waiting outside. But
yeah.
Obviously, things have changed, so there you go.
Well, it was good. I mean, there was banter.
Yeah.
I can't really repeat some of the songs that were sung back and forth to each other, but they were very entertaining. I'll give you that. There was good banter.
Yeah, it's good.
And I may mention it on Saturday, and you might find it funny, but not.
They even had security.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they had bouncers there, didn't they? They had.
Yeah.
Was it
Ask Adam. Ask Adam. He had some security. Give him some grief.
Well, that's it. I mean, I don't know if you know about this, Gina. I don't even know about this, guys, but like, obviously, Adam's trying to do the commentary. Actually, for the chaps that were listening, tell us what it sounded like.
It sounded brilliant. That's hilarious.
It was really funny.
Adam, he comments that he's impartial, but he's obviously quite excited being a Hastings fan.
Yeah.
And, when Hastings on the attack, he's obviously a bit louder and a bit more like on the edge of his seat. And there was obviously someone sat a few rows in front of him who wasn't too happy about having the match commentated from behind him. But I think someone had passed on to this guy that it was for the Conquest Hospital radio as well as the website. And he seemed to chill his boots a little bit at that point and kind of understand that, okay.
Yeah, I think he went somewhere along the lines of, I hope you're not going to be making that much noise all the way through the game, mate. And Adam turned around and said, why? He said, well, I've had a few complaints from the old ladies at the front.
But this is what happened.
It wasn't a library, though, was it?
This is what happens when you sit in a main stand, yeah? Yeah. It's the upper echelons of society sit up there and they don't want to hear any noise, do they?
We don't like it. I have to say, it is irritating. I still remember the Cray Valley game. There was some absolute tosspot sat just behind me who I think he was with the bloke who was doing he was the Cray Valley PM, Bob Quinn sat behind us. And his mate.
The mighty Bob Quinn.
The mighty Bob Quinn. And his mate was really mouthy. And when you're losing and there's a mouthy opposition fan behind you, it's very, very hard to sort of just grit your teeth and be all sort of non-league football matey with it.
So a bit of main stand aggro. Is that what you're saying, Andy?
Yeah, it's a tough gig. Almost flipped to what's it at him.
It didn't stop my dad, mate.
Yeah. It does, yeah. It does stick a bit, yeah.
Well, yeah, so obviously Adams had to suffer these capers, but he soldiered through it, and by the sounds of it, he tried to stay as professional as he could. So
he was brilliant. He really was.
Yeah.
And you can already see an improvement from the first 2 or 3 games that he's done. So he's cut out the Ben Pope, the blah, blah, the blah, blah. It's all surnames. Saves him a bit of breath, He's getting there. He's doing great. He's doing really, really good.
I find with the commentary that he's really descriptive and he's very, he describes the match really well.
Yeah.
When you listen to like a main football, there's always 2, aren't there? So you sort of dine in on their conversation, that sort of flip flop and banter. So I think obviously doing that on your own, it's impossible to have that conversation bit. But he does really well to try and infill every little bit that he can. He's doing a really good job.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I have to say, I prefer where there's a moment where you can bounce off people. So to soldier on your own, I'll give him absolute.
Yeah, totally.
Do you know what I mean? Really and as he goes, obviously things will.
I'll tell you something else as well. He was updating us all with the scores from the rest of the games around the league. Which not everybody's connected to it, FWP or whatever it is you're looking at, and that, it's good.
Ways to kill dead air as well. He's getting there, and he's getting there. Professional.
He is.
But he's so professional. He hasn't bothered turning up. So he's a
I think he's moved on, Chris.
I'm just.
He's on Talk Sport.
Yeah.
Down at Brighton.
So with the game, obviously, second half, as Gina was saying, slightly squeaky bum, I felt. But with the defence as it is, I'm not sure if Gina agrees. I don't know how it come across on commentary, but just again, O'Mara, even Ollie Black that came back, just sound. There wasn't that. You weren't scared. You weren't thinking, Christ, they're going to score. It was. I mean, Omara is just a top player. It's so great that we got him in the team. It's just made such a difference.
It's huge. Him and Craig Stone have almost watertight at the back, aren't they? I think in the game since Finn's joined, we've conceded goals in 2 or maybe 3 games out of 8, 9, 10 or something. It's mental.
And he's not giving away many yellow cards either. So
no, and he's scoring as well, isn't he? You know, he scored against Whitehawk. He scored 4, I think, maybe, or not. The overhead against Faversham was just
that counts for 2 at least.
And some, yeah, totally.
And they're both very, very good footballers as well. They can both play, and that does make a difference. I think the first time I saw him play, he was moving. As soon as he got the ball, he was moving. He's so just not your standard centre half in that sense. They're both. I mean, Stone's a very, very good footballer, and he complements him, and they can do it all. Like as we said last time out, it didn't even matter that Elphick retired himself once Omara arrived. We didn't even notice Elphick retiring. That's the biggest compliment you can pay him, really.
Yeah,
there must have been a conversation that is said that if Gary's going to step out, they've got to get someone who can sort of step into that role. And I don't know if Craig knows him from his Gillingham sort of connections or not, because he come through the ranks there, didn't he, Finn? But I reckon there's been a conversation where I said, let's get someone who's on that level who can come in, and it's been faultless, isn't it?
Gina, I don't know if you remember this, but one of the things we talked about Craig Stone, I'm amazed he finished the game. Do you remember that challenge that fella put on him?
When he went right on his back.
Unbelievable. We didn't get anything for it. It was a ridiculous challenge.
And I actually heard it thump on the floor from where we were standing.
Yeah. It's incredible.
I remember saying to Gary, they could have broke his back then.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw, has anyone seen the video of the Stone challenge?
No.
Anyone?
No, just in the goal. Just in the goal.
That's all.
But if you go on to Craig Stone's Twitter and just check the challenge out, and he didn't get any, it should have been a penalty. Yeah. Clear penalty. And how he carried that game on after that, because he come down heavy, didn't he, Gina? It was always... well,
you heard it thump on the floor.
Yeah. Hang on, what do we hear thump on the floor? Hang on, sorry, I'm going double entendres there.
He's back.
He's back. It wasn't Ollie Black. So sorry, going to the old Willie jokes there, sorry. Right. So yeah, and then we couldn't get a goal, but then King Pogue turns up with an absolute cultured finish, and then all hell broke loose, didn't it? Gina?
Yeah. Everyone was singing.
Yeah, we were singing. I grabbed someone and tried to throw them in the air.
Craig Stone.
No, he was still lying on the floor. Yeah, so Adam, we've got Matt, we've got Windy, we've also got Andy, and we've got the lovely Gina here. Yeah, so what we were just getting on about we go a bit to your commentary, but we were just saying about that Craig Stone challenge.
Should have been a penalty.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. When I was doing the commentary, I couldn't see it because there was a bar in my way.
Oh, hello, Arsene. Arsene is back.
I
was unsighted. Yeah, very good.
The Bovril bar.
Yeah, that's it. He's down there having a Bovril.
That's it. So I missed it, but no, it was all right. I saw the replays of it, and my goodness.
Yeah, me and Gina were just saying he absolutely just thumped on that ground, didn't he, after that challenge? Yeah. But
I think the ref had the same problem I did. I don't think he could see it.
So, Adam, we've spoken about your little tete-a-tete with the main stand of Whitstable. I mean, did you want to give your words on it?
What, the situation with the Jobsworth steward?
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there, I'm a few minutes into it, I'm getting excited when sort of Hastings nearly score, and then he comes up and he sort of says to me, he goes, "You're not going to be doing that all game, are you?" I went, "Well, yeah, I'm on the radio, I will be doing it all game." And he went, "Well, do it quietly because you're annoying people." And then everybody else started chiming up and going, he's not annoying me. And then, of course, right in front of me was was Haley and Billy and all that lot. And and then this scout that I was talking to before the game was sort of sat the other side of me, and he turned around and went, "Oh, he's just being a complete Jobsworth, mate." He says, "You know, they have to get used to people coming in and doing commentary and stuff if they want to go up the leagues." I went, "Look at their position; they don't want to go up." But,
Helpful.
yeah.
So you were kind then, weren't you, Adam?
Yeah, I was kind. I just said,
Yeah.
okay. I doled it down a little bit, and then everybody sort of spoke up for me and that. And then, but everybody was like sending me messages on Facebook of like, you know, like, he's just a Jobsworth, tell him to F off and all this stuff.
See, this is what we need. When you're telling the story, Adam, right, you need to put a little bit of salt and pepper on it. What you're supposed to say is, I told them to sod off. I'm doing this commentary, blur, you know, all that. Don't just say, "Oh yeah, I was very nice," you know.
Yeah, I know, but my daughter's within earshot of me. I've got to be careful of my words.
Oh, I politely told them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I slightly suggested that they could shove it up somewhere. It was funny.
It was actually really well done, Adam, and the fact that you just went, "They're on the break now."
Hang on, golf commentator.
Yeah.
And it went on. It's par 3.
It's Stone.
I did.
Don't tell no one, but yes.
Yeah.
That was it. Yeah.
Ollie Black. He froze with his.
Kenny Pogue scored. Oh, it was so funny.
Brilliant, mate. It was so good.
Yeah. I think it would have been hilarious to the people listening because like, all of a sudden they just had this other guy going, "You can't do that."
Fantastic.
First of all, we got Mr. Carter on, so we're going to mention this. Your website for the radio is hufcradio.co.uk.
Yeah,
your Twitter is HUFC Radio.
Yeah.
And your Facebook is HUFC Radio. So please, anyone listening right now or watching, get on there on the weekends if you can't make the game. But I mean, rather come to the game.
Yeah.
And listen. But if you can't, please do those things. They're going to be in the links. Adam, talk about your lovely website.
Yeah, it's just a sort of website it's another way to listen. It's going to be on there. The reason I've set it up is because the on-demand stuff is going to be uploaded to there and then to the Hastings website, so that it's taking less strain off the Hastings website from people listening and so on. But it's just there. And to the request of quite a few people, I put a tip system in place, but I'm not expecting anyone to tip. It's just been put in because people said I should.
Yeah, you should. Seriously, should.
I think if there's a suggestion that for everyone who listens to a game, chip in £1 or 2.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's nothing, is it? People should do that, really. And I think most would.
This can be music to Adam's ears. Yeah, this is music to your ears, Adam. Again,
that'll buy me another pot of Bovril.
Yeah, exactly. No, but honestly, all of these things cost money. Yeah, like what is set up, and anyone that's listening, these things cost money. Yeah, so honestly, if you can, just throw. I mean, things cost me money, but no one's going to give me any money. I'm a waste of time. In terms of the actual, the way you're lining it up these days, Adam. Is it going to be when are you going to start from it? Is it going to be 2:30 just before kickoff that you're going to be doing it, or is it going to be 1:30, 2 o'clock? I can't remember the last time you were talking about it.
Yeah, when I first started doing it at 1:30, there was too much filler, too much time, and it just was, it was too long for what was needed. So, what I've decided is that music would start at 2:30. And then I would come in at 2:45 with the lineup, with the other fixtures going on in the league or a cup if there's a cup game going on, and just then like how the other team, their latest results, our latest results. And then by the time I've done that, played another song and played the serious song that I play when all the players come out on the pitch. And then it's time to kick off. So 2:30 start, 2:45 I do all the lineups and stuff, and ready for 3.
Excellent. All right, and we did mention talking to the Whitstable game quickly though, Adam, I did mention about how excellent the Whitstable fans were. Did you have any comments on them?
I did. The fans in general, I thought were absolutely great. They gave as good as they took, which is very rare for Hastings to experience. You know, like they had a good following. They was banging. They was singing songs of. I heard them shouting at one point, "Shall we sing a song for you?" back to Hastings in the first half. So I thought they were really good. Got chatting with a couple of them down the high street, and but yeah, they seemed like a really nice bunch. They didn't seem like there was any negativity there. They just was like us, there to support their team and have a good day.
Out of interest, what was the Hastings numbers like? Because I know their sort of average attendance is sort of 350. On Saturday there was 455. Is it fair to say there's probably about 150 in Hastings, doing the maths? Or
I would have said there was probably more about 80 to 100 Hastings fans there.
Fair.
Yeah, there wasn't so many behind the goal, but there was quite a lot in the main stand. More spread out. It was more spread out. There was a gaggles of us. I mean, Gina, how many were near us? Probably about 30.
Yeah, about 30 or 40. But there was a lot up that side in front of the main stand as well.
Yeah. So no, we made enough noise, didn't we, Gina? So
yep.
Yeah, Gary.
We won. That's the main thing.
So I mean,
that's all that matters.
Victory is all that matters. Victory.
And that we're 7 points clear at the top.
That's it. Ashford lost. That was, yeah. I thought Robbie was going to fall down the stairs and break his other ankle when he found out that they lost.
From 2-0 up as well. That's amazing. Wasn't
that
it?
was Robbie.
Yeah. No, that's it was first half, wasn't it, Gina? So what? Just so Adam, just so you know, right? So Robbie was higher up the stands, first half, and he could see the ref's ball spot. And he was telling the ref, from my vantage point, I could see that bald spot. And obviously, he went off to you second half, as Wendy's told me. So,
yeah, he come and sat with me. I think his leg was killing him a bit, and it was just like he wanted to sort of hear the commentary as well, because like he goes to all the games, he doesn't get to hear it. So, and he was impressed. Everyone I've spoke to has been impressed with the commentary and stuff. So I'm happy with that.
Really good, mate. Really good.
Yeah. We're all kissing your ass here.
Yeah.
Right. No Kenny Pogue. Kenny Pogue is obviously child rearing, or whatever it's called. I don't know. Having only 5 of my own, I wouldn't know. So let's move on to the. We got the women's game. That was an away game at Dorking. I doubt anyone's been to that.
No, I didn't go, to be honest, because we already had plans when it was announced and that. But it was just a friendly. But it was from talking to Joe Knight, who videoed it. It was a really strong performance from the Hastings women in the first half, and it was pretty much the development team in the second half, and they still managed to sort of like score a goal and like do well. So it was a good run out for the girls. I mean, it's a team that are in the same step as us. They're just in the north and we're in the south. But yeah, it's good. So, and of course, we're at home again against, what's their name? Welling, I think it is. Welling, that's it. Welling on Sunday at home. So
is that in the league?
Yeah, that's a league game.
Oh, good. I mean, it's good that they got that fixture sorted, because I mean, it must be frustrating for the women's team that they're obviously going to go up to the next level. They're desperate to go up to the next level, where at least it'll be a little bit more organised, and they'll get proper games every week, and because this must be really annoying for them.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. They go up, they get promoted. They're facing teams like Fulham.
Yeah, I'll get a few down for that.
Every week that we sort of look them up on their website, they always seem to win by 5 goals to something. Like every week we look up Hastings Ladies 5 every single week. It's amazing, isn't it, to score that many goals consistently?
Yeah.
Are they just head and shoulders above the competition in that league?
Pretty much, yeah. What happened is that when we started, we sort of like we knew straight away that we was entering a step of the pyramid that we don't deserve. So we got a load of like players in from Eastbourne Town, I think it was, and to basically with the acknowledgement of getting 3 promotions on the trot, and so we're one down on the way to the second, and then the third to go.
Yeah, I mean, we had to start at this point, so it is what it is. So we look forward to Burgess Hill.
Not going to be easy.
That's what I was going to say. I mean,
have you seen the form league?
Yeah, no, they're second in the table to us for form.
They done VCD 2-0 last weekend, didn't they?
Yeah.
And they gave us a good game, VCD.
Yeah, they did.
They're obviously capable, didn't they, Burgess Hill? We've done them twice this season, though. 3-2 away in the league and 1-0 in the cup away. So going for the hat-trick of wins.
Yeah, I think that, if TC's sort of back up to scratch, he's always been a sort of a bit of an Achilles heel for that team. His pace is just way faster than them, and he's normally sort of like the player that sort of gets the assists and that. So, yeah, we shall see. I personally think, a draw would be welcome, because I can't see Ashford getting 3 points again this week. So
another tough one, isn't they?
Yeah.
Who they got?
Cool. So, Gina, Andy, what do we think about Burgess Hill?
Well, we went to the Sussex Cup game, didn't we? That was a close game. That Sussex Cup game really was. That was a game where both teams played properly, which quite surprised me on the evening, actually. And they played like a proper game, and they were good. But that was the game where the one thing I remember about that game is the game where Norrie Scott got a full game. And it was almost like the game that I felt that turned his confidence. So that's the main thing I remember about Burgess Hill, was that game where he skinned them a bit. They had a very, very good goalie. They had a very good goalie as well, didn't they? Who was also a depressingly pleasant bloke as well. He soaked up all the chat with some aplomb, which was quite funny actually. He was quite. I remember
it was quite annoying. It was quite annoying actually. It was none of the chat worked.
Well, exactly. It was really annoying. So he was brilliant and a really nice bloke. So double whammy really.
Sam got under his skin though. She did.
Yeah, she did. Wow.
Yeah.
Yes, she did.
Gina, they were a good team. Yeah, they
no,
were a good team. So I don't know. I didn't notice that they'd won those other games as well. So that's quite interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, but just quickly, Norrie Scott been a different player. Like I'm sure Adam and Gina agree with me. But against Whitstable, I think he was fantastic defensively. Fantastic. I mean, he's just so. I mean, I don't remember we were playing. Was it not Chippenham? When was it? Who did we go out to in the cup? Maidenhead.
Maidenhead.
Do you remember him against Maidenhead where he looked lost? He honestly looked lost, and it's such a world difference. Anyway, sorry, Gina, Burgess Hill, love. Any of your thoughts on that?
I think it could be a tough one.
Yeah.
And as someone said about the goalkeeper, when we was trying to throw our insults at him, he was taking them like a pinch of salt and answering us back and agreeing.
Yeah, no. Maybe we have to be mega nice to him, Gina.
And I remember when some of the fans were insulting Adam as well, but still.
Oh yeah, was that game? Oh my god!
Because that was the day. It was on the 16th of November, the day before my birthday, I think it was.
Oh, was that when I took my top off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He incited some younger fans to start throwing abuse at him, but you did take it well, Adam.
Oh, of course I do, mate. I'm thick-boned. Yeah, no, of course. It took me years to get this good looking.
If anything, they backed down before Adam did.
Oh yeah,
I got a bit bored.
Yeah, well, and we won, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, 1-0.
There you go. That's the best way of shutting them up. But,
and there was a very big Aldi next to the ground, if I remember rightly.
Was it that game? Oh, that's the John Wills nearly got lost game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's I'm trying to.
Does anybody know if Jack Dixon's back?
Oh yeah, because he's suspended for a game, so he's available.
Is he? And he was still on holiday 3 hours ago.
Okay. Well, yeah, that might be a reason why he's not there. But officially, I seem to remember he's suspended. He was suspended.
Right, that's all
right. He
right.
might just have COVID now or something. I don't know. Whatever they come up with now.
On honeymoon, wasn't he? I mean, but again, the best thing is that we're back to a situation now where they've got a squad that can soak up that for all as well as he's played. they've got a squad that can soak that sort of thing up now, which is we're back to that situation having 15 players, and you're not too fussed about who plays, and that's a really nice situation to be in. They're obviously the spine of the team, but around that, most players can fit in, and it seems to be working.
Yeah, midfield looks quite solid, doesn't it?
Mm.
Well, I think one of the things has been a massive change is with Cisse and Nori being so good defensively as well, in terms of they harangue, harass, chase back.
Yep.
It's such a different. Honestly, it's such a difference. You know, Cisse's been really good going forward as well. I mean, Nori's been good going forward, but his work defensively needs mentioning because it's
Yeah, but I think also a big shout out needs to go to Finn O'Mara because he's been a tank in defence. He's been brilliant.
Yeah, he's full of energy. Any corner, any free kick, he's causing all sorts of mayhem. You know, he likes to wrap himself around the post and everything.
The way we've been going will be he's going to be officially fan favourite, Finn O'Mara, isn't he? Yeah. We're getting that designation.
Wills has dropped Dicko. That's the title. Oh. Yeah, it's the title of his book. Drop anything else we want to talk about, or shall I bid us farewell?
I've got one thing.
Of course,
Freddie Legg.
Okay.
Just want to say, he just made the under-18 English schoolboys team, I believe.
Yes, he has. That's right. That was in the paper. Yes.
No, that's not to be sneezed at. That's at this level. Well done.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the last player who went and done that, Ben Ward, he ended up getting signed by Burnley.
Yeah.
Freddie Legg is very good.
You have to keep your eyes on those scouts, mate.
Yeah.
Make sure Robbie trips them down the steps. And
exactly.
Oh, they all seem to be after TC at the moment, and he's always on the bench.
Wonder why.
Yeah. Is the scout on yet? Right, you can get on the pitch.
That's an aside, isn't it? Thursday week is the under-23s final. Is that that last week?
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, I'm going to commentate on that.
So that's worth mentioning. And also tomorrow, apparently, there's going to be an announcement about coach travel
to Ashford.
Ashford, yeah.
I believe.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if they're putting on 2 coaches.
Yeah, so watch out for that.
Gina,
I'm having my own limo laid on, I believe.
Yeah, I can imagine you're having your own limo, Addy. But Gina, so you and Gary, you're obviously going to have one of those coaches, aren't you? That's your dibs in one.
Yep.
Who's allowed on? Yeah, is there anyone that's not allowed on?
Anyone's welcome.
Oh, okay.
As long as they bring a song request, they're allowed on.
Yeah, they're not allowed to know like crap music. If they like crap music, they're off. Yeah.
It don't bother me. All sorts.
Yeah.
Going back to a very handy thing that Adam's just mentioned about that under-23s final. I'm working. I cannot get off, so I'm not going to be able to be there. So you're doing commentary for it. It's yes.
Yeah, doing commentary for the under-23 final over in Lancing.
Excellent.
Being a man of leisure, I'll see how it pans out. I've seen them a couple of times actually, and I really enjoyed it. So it's a tempting prospect. Who do they get in the end? I kept on looking around to see who had won that semi-final. For the records, who are they playing?
New Haven.
New Haven,
yeah.
Right? Okay.
New Haven.
So not Eastbourne.
No, they lost on penalties, I think, in the end.
Oh, right. Okay.
Adam, could we have a booth of you and Flat White? Could that be possible? Could that happen?
Not until I get some new equipment that allows me to have multiple microphones. So that's coming.
As a secondary commentator, being Jermaine Genus for the day?
You look a bit like him.
I mean, you could be my man in the stand and be my Chris Kamara.
Yeah, unbelievable, Jeff.
Has any of you ever been to Lancing?
No.
Yeah. It's a bit open around 3 sides. It's a bit like the Ashford ground, actually.
So it's going to be a cold one.
Yeah. Well, I think we had a Sussex Senior Cup match there on a semi-final. It's been about 8 or 9 years ago now, and it was snowing, and it was in March. And it was bloody freezing, honestly.
Yeah,
really cold.
Well, it can't be any worse. Can't be any worse than Blackpool. Yeah, and one thing, we moaned about the travel. Actually, the Lancing, the turn off for Lancing is before before the A27 goes pear shaped. So it's not as bad a journey as I thought it might be.
No, Windy told me that.
John Wills got that wrong last week.
Yeah, so you can.
That was Andy. That was Andy. Tell Windy. Tell him.
You turn left just after those nasty traffic lights where the accident happened with the airport.
Yeah, so my apologies to Lancing for that.
They're on block you on Twitter now.
Yeah.
Can't imagine there's anybody in Lancing who knows what Twitter is.
Well, for them, Twitter's a noise a bird makes.
Yeah, exactly. They shall stop sending me carrier pigeons.
Well, he's playing his role today, isn't he? Right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, sorry I was late.
No, you're never forgiven. You're never forgiven, Adam. Don't worry. Thank you, Adam, Matt, Windy, John, Andy, and the lovely Gina. Thank you so much for coming on. And, I'll be seeing you at the game and 3 points Saturday.
Yeah. And if you can't make it, I'll talk it all through with you.
Oh, cool. We'll be there or be square on Saturday.
Yeah, exactly.
So, take care, guys. Yeah.
See you later.
Thank you. That's it for another week, Use fans. And what would we do without that King Kenny poke? Cementing our place at the top of the league. Surely it's got to be our season. As ever, if you want to get in contact with the show, or have any suggestions, or want to get in on our weekly roundtables, that email again is hufcpod@gmail.com, or on the Twitter, which is @hufcpodcast. You can get this podcast on all major platforms, be it Google Podcasts, Audible, iTunes, Spotify, or Amazon Music. And we have a jam-packed YouTube channel, chock-a-block, full of video interviews and episodes from the podcast. Please, please, please give it a look, a comment, or a like, but definitely subscribe. It's all free. All that's left for me to say is, I've been your host, Chris Laverick. Hope you have a good week, and see you at the game.